Hey, welcome back to Powered by 8 Racing YouTube channel. I'm just going to make a quick intro here. I've been gone for a little while. I got sick for a little bit there, so I disappeared, and I wasn't able to work on the car as much as I wanted to. So I'm back at it. I am going to jump right into this video, and we're going to go over the stuff that I need to fix after the last Sebring and coaching session. So let's get at it.
Powered by 8.
Hey, welcome back to Powered by 8 Racing YouTube channel. Today I'm going to start addressing the problems that we ran into in Sebring. If you watch the video on the post Sebring, you'll know that we ran into some problems. And so one of the problems was the catch can. So I've got that ready to go. I've got a game plan for that. We lost this fender, which I was actually not right with. What had happened was we were getting tire rub, and it actually had rubbed out all of this area here. Never seen that happen. So that's something that I'll address. I've got a new fender liner to put in there. And then we got to address the starter. So let's get at that. I'm going to go over, I've got some aluminum so I can make my bracket. I've got the template already done. The template is going to be pretty much the same shape and design as this one. It's like a tomahawk-ish thing. I'm not going to get rid of this just because I might use it later for something. And since I've already got it made for the fire suppression system, I'll just leave it there. The new one's going to come off of right here. It'll come out here, it'll L this way, and then the tank's going to sit right here with a drain valve that I can get my hand under and catch any of the oil, blow by, whatever it is that's coming through their vapors and that's catching in the bottom of that can. So that's the plan. So let me get the template. Let's go over to the shears and get some aluminum cut up. So this is pretty much the template that I'm going to use. And so I actually need it to be a little bit longer because I'm going to actually fold this in two spots. So I'm going to lose about an inch from where I fold it to make the 90. I'm not going to fold it straight at 90 because I don't want to weaken this up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this width, and then I'll cut this out on the bandsaw, and then I will throw a bead down the middle of this just to strengthen this up, and that'll make it nice and strong. And then I can use a lighter gauge aluminum. So that'll be pretty much this. We'll trace this out and cut this out on the bandsaw. So I already made a template out of metal just to test this theory before I got the right sizes. So I'm just going to transfer that over to this. Alright, so there's our drill marks. I'm going to drill these out, and then I can bend the first 90 right here at the crease, and then about an inch down I'll make the second one, and that's how we'll get the 90. But again, I don't want this to be the 90-degree bend, just because it's just going to make this weak. If I bend this all at 90 degrees, it'll weaken that up. But I'm going to throw a bead that you can see down the middle of it here. I'm going to sand this real quick, make it nice and brush looking. Alright, so to make this brush, what I like to do, all I have is 220. You can get a little bit finer if you want to. Get a block of wood and some WD-40. And basically you're just going to get this wet. And then you're just going to go in one motion, this direction or this direction, but just don't go back and forth. I guess you can, but it's going to look better if you just go in one direction. And WD-40 makes it nice and slick, so it helps it out a little bit. And you just do that, and then this is what happens. So I get it started this direction, but then I'm just going to sand it this way. you can sand it some more. So I'm going to probably rough this up just a little bit more. Alright, and that wasn't really for anything but other than getting it cleaned up. So, you know, a regular piece of aluminum is going to be like this. You're going to get fingerprints on it and whatnot. You can see here. But now, with you scuffing it up and being brushed, though there's scrapes and stuff, at least it's not going to leave fingerprints for the most part. And that'll be easier. It's a little bit easier to clean up. Alright, so let me mark where my bead's going to go. I'll put a line across it. Alright, so that's where the bead's going to go. We are going to bead it this way, so that when we bend this way, our bead will be here, so that this is flat against the fender, and then the catch can sit flat against this, and then our raised area will be here. Alright, so get your bead roller set up, clamp it down, one turn, usually pretty good, get it lined up, and then start turning. So this is a little light, but that's okay. I want to get the first roll in, I'll bring it back, and we will get one more roll in. Put this back through again, and we will make it a little bit tighter. Perfect. Alright, so as you can see, it's going to hang like that. Once it's on here and tight, that'll be nice and sturdy, and if I wanted to, I could even add a gusset here, weld it on, but I don't think we'll need to. But what I want to do is I want to get the tank in here, see where it needs to sit, and move that around. That way I can lop off the end of this where it needs to, round these corners off and these corners off to soften it up a little bit, and we should be good. All right, so this is how the tank's going to be. You see I've got the drain valve there. Let's put this in here. I'm going to set something like this. I think it'll be right about here. Alright, so that's where I'm going to put it. Got a little dot there. Of course, it scuffed up my nice brushed aluminum, but that's alright. I guess I could have put tape over it to protect it, but no one's ever going to see it. There we go. Alright, let's put it in and see what happens. Alright, slide this in here. This will slide down. Just like that. This will get screwed in here tight. Yeah, I think that's going to work lovely. Alright, so I got these bolts put on, got the bracket here. As you can see, this will sit in here just like this. We'll get it all tightened down. We'll get it all clamped down, tightened up. That gets tightened, this gets tightened, and we can even raise it up if we want to, just to give it some elevation until the hood clears or doesn't clear. I still have access to my drain valve down here, which you can't see, but basically I'll be able to reach in here, get a cup under there, drain this up, and lock it shut. And it'll be really, really nice to have this. Alright, so here's my bracket. I put it off this way. I got it lined up here. I just got to tighten it down now. But there you can see the drain valve I've got. So now I can put a cup under there, drain it as I need to. This sits no higher than that. but I've got plenty of, I can bring it up and down as needed. This is still higher than that, so it still needs to go uphill, and then obviously it's going to go downhill, but I think this would be a better solution. That's what I got. All right, so we got the catch can done. We're going to move on to the starter. So let's get the car in the air. Well, alrighty then. I need new headers. Don't know if you see this. Check that out. Just broke. Broke clean off. Interesting. That's the weld point right here on that one. And it just broke on this one. So, wow. I better get on the internet and see what I can't find, because this is really bad news. Alright, so we know that header's got to come off now. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the exhaust off the car. That way I can get to the starter anyways, and we will go from there. I'm going to probably switch to another header. I'll find out which ones I want to go with. But, yeah, we'll see what happens here. I'm not sure yet. Alright, so let me go back to the top of the car, get this driver's or the passenger side header off at least, so we can at least address the starter. Alright, so as I get down in here, I notice that my my ground is loose on the engine block over here, and I think that our track fix starter wire might not be holding very well. It's kind of slipping out of the terminal. So what I'm going to do before I rip everything apart is I think I'm going to just go ahead and take that off, put a new terminal on the end of the starter wire, and then tighten up that ground wire, put it all back together, and see if the car turns over. Because if that's all it is, then that's all it is. So that's the easiest solution before ripping this header off for no reason. Alright, change my mind, pulling the headers. Not changing my mind. Don't try to convince me. I already changed it. Alright, there's my starter wire. Alright, so I just decided to take the starter off. So we're just going to take this off and cheap insurance, whatever. Alright, so glad I looked before I just started throwing stuff together, because I thought this was the right part number. Apparently it's not. This is an AC Delco, that's a GM. What I noticed was this terminal is not the same as this one. So that was never going to work. I'm going to get that back in the mail. I'm going to get another one of these ordered, and hopefully they've got one somewhere in stock so I can get it on the way. Alright. And then you can see it's clamped on versus getting smashed on. That's not going to go anywhere. So we have to slide the heat shrink up right over the top of it, and we should be good to go. All right, let me jump back into this. So last clip I have recorded was getting the terminal put on the starter cable. Now, I was making good progress, and I fell off the face of the earth for a couple weeks because I got sick. So I am back at it now. In the meantime, though, I did do a couple things but didn't record it because, well, I was very lethargic while I was doing some of this stuff, but and it wasn't really newsworthy. But I did get the header welded back up, so that's good to go. Everything's bolted back here. I got this header back on. I dented that spot that we had up at the top in where we were melting spark plug cables, which you can see in older videos. And I got the starter back in, and I went ahead and wrapped this. I don't know if this is going to help it or hurt it, but I don't think it's going to hurt it too much. And then by doing this, I was also able to reroute the wires up in here, which is hard to see, but anyways, I was able to get those further away from the header. This is the old line. I also got, I didn't record it, but back in there, I panel bonded the tab that gets put onto the body for the fender. So that's panel bonded, and I also put 2 self-tapping screws, so we don't ever have to worry about that coming off again. This is still floppy because I need to put the fender liner on, which is what I'm going to do today. I think that I tore the other fender liner up because of it coming loose, and it was able to flop around. I think that's what caused that to happen. I've never had a rubbing issue prior to that, so I'm not sure why that happened, but just in case it happens again, I went ahead and got some panhead style screws for this so that we don't have to worry about a hard edge from a hex screw ripping up the tire. I just don't think it's going to be a problem if I do it that way. So I've already started to cut what I needed to cut on that. I just need to install it. I also went ahead and fixed the alignment of the car, and it was off a little bit, so I didn't record that, but I'll show you what later in the video what I had to do with the alignment and why I adjusted it. And then I loosened up the front sway bar. We were getting a little bit of understeer. I think that it was caused because of the hood being off the car. We also had messed with the front arrow a little bit, and I think that's what was messing with our understeer. But yeah, let me get to fixing up that front, the new fender liner. As you can see, I cut this corner out. That used to be straight out, and then I had to cut this out in order to fit the dry sump tank. Everything should fit now. I just need to get those screws, put this in, and that should pretty much wrap it up. I'll get the last tire put back on it, and the car should be ready again. Other than the hood, we're waiting for that to get fixed still. Once the hood gets fixed, if we get it fixed in time for the next event in June, I'm not sure. But if anything, I will have the stock hood to put back on the car, and that's how we'll run the June event. Still waiting for AJ to get the other hood made, and as soon as he does, we'll get that put back on. So let's get back at it. Alright, so here you can see got the liner back in. Again, I used 2 panhead screws here versus the hex that I use everywhere else, which is the stock. I just stole the washers off of the old ones. And then I got it under here, and then you can see this is where I drain my oil. So that's got a nice little hole, but it's still protected. And then once this is off the lift, I have a spot back here that I'll drill in, and then that'll be good. So that's done. Pretty much that's it for down here. Plenty of brake pads still, so I don't have to worry about those, but I'll get some ordered just so I have some on backup. I don't know if I mentioned this in another video, but you can see I mark I think I did in the alignment, I mark which way I turn this to tow out. So I turn it clockwise, tows it out, and then I also marked it on this side, turn it clockwise, and it turns it out. I also marked every other flat so that I can see it easier when I'm at the track. Marked all of my spots where I take measurements from, just so I know and I remember. This is for my bump steer, where I take my ride height measurements from. And yeah, so that's it. This dangly wire is for the transponder. That'll go back up top. But let's get the car down, get that tire on, the car will be done, and pretty much I think that's it. I think that I hooked the battery back up and I will be pretty much ready to go, other than the oh my goodness, I'm losing a light up here. This light, you can see that, look at, see that? Oh my gosh, it's so annoying. So I lost that light, I lost that panel. A lot of these are LEDs. I think that I can just replace those. I have some other lights that I haven't used yet. But anyway, so if you see a flashing light, sorry. There's nothing I can do about it right now. Anyways, back to the car. Let me get it down, get the tire on, and I think that I will be finishing up. So, one thing we did at the track last time was I did some testing on the canards and if I was losing mile an hour because of them. And data doesn't show that I wasn't losing any mile an hour. These weren't hindering me for where I was. So I'm going to put them back on. Hope that it helps with some of the understeer as well. So we're going to put them back on. I'll monitor data again because we've got some good data now. And make sure that it is in fact not slowing me down. And yeah, so I'm going to put them back on because like I said, I don't think that we are being hindered by them. So let's get these bad boys put back on. All right, so we're back to the hood. I got the hood back, and let me show you kind of what happened here. So when we lost it, this one didn't do much damage, it just broke the thing. But we were kind of close to the edge here, so this actually broke this. So we're gonna reinforce it with some sheet metal. And yep, that light's still flashing. I haven't got it fixed yet. It ripped this one out, so we cleaned this one up, and this is gonna go there. We've got a little bit thicker gauge there to fill in the gap. We got it riveted on, so we're going to put that one there. This is the one that failed, so it never went anywhere, so that one's okay. And then we're going to reinforce this one with that, and just because on the other side it gets cracked up. Can't really see it here, but it's cracked all along here. So we'll reinforce it with that. The goal and the plan, I should say, is to put some panel bond there. So I'll use some of the same panel bond that you would use on the fenders. So it's a 3M08115. It's a nice panel bond. It takes a day for it to fully cure, but you get about 4 hours of cure time on it and 90 minutes of like work time. But so the plan is I'm going to take those, I'm going to panel bond it all, I'm going to put it down, and then I'm going to put the arrow latch on there, and then I'm going to drill holes, and then I'm going to rivet it in a couple places also and hold it nice and tight, and then by tomorrow to be cured, and then I'll be able to put it back on the car, and we should line right back up. And so we'll do the same with all of these, is we're just gonna, but you can see how it's like all oblong, so I'm gonna have to like put it down, put some screws in it, get it set, get some panel bond on there, you know, get the arrow latch on there, and then rivet it in so that everything's lined up properly. And then we'll just do the same on all three corners. Again, that one didn't break because that's the one that failed. So that's the one that was here that popped out of. So let's get that going, and we will get it riveted on and go from there. going to get the panel bond. I'm going to stick it on this side. I'll put this down, and then I will screw this on, and then I will throw the rivets in, and then I'm going to put these on this side. It's just going to give the, I guess I probably don't even need them, but I'm just going to use them anyways. Help take some of the space up with the rivet, and it'll help pull that down a little bit tighter. All right, let me get doing it. Tomorrow I'll come in, I'll get the bolt put on, or the striker pin put on the car, put the hood on the car, hood will be done. And then all I have left to do is put the spill boards on the splitter, and the car's done. So there we are. I will see you in the morning. All right, and just like that, it's the next day. Everything should be bonded up pretty good. As you'll see, hopefully this doesn't flex when I take it off. Shouldn't have any movement there now. Yeah, it's pretty hard. So that's the nice thing about this. You can see this, I mean, it's panel bond. It's the stuff they use to hold your car together if you have a Corvette. So anyways, that's all on there. That's all on there nice and tight. Let's make sure the hood fits. It should. We haven't changed anything. The only thing that we've done differently is we now have this, and we still need to put this back on. I want to make sure the hood fits on the 3 corners that we have studs there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these bottom nuts off, and we're going to replace those with nylox on all. Well, actually these two, they're that one and that one, they're in welded nuts. Oh, they do have a nut underneath it, so we'll go ahead and put nylox on those just because I don't want to lose this again. So let's put the camera down and let's see if the hood fits, or make sure it fits still, because it should. All right. You know, this is the corner that failed, and then you can see in the video how it almost like flipped back like this. So you can see the cracks that it did here, but these cracks didn't go through the entire thing. This is only on this top layer. Underneath this hood, there is no cracks, other than this. You know, obviously we cut this out so we could fill this in, but now it's all panel bonded, and we should be strong there again. This one didn't get hurt. I'm gonna go ahead and well, that one should be good. And then you can see these are the rivets that we put in to help hold that on. No damage to this one, except for down here. This is just the clear coat, I think, from the paint. So yeah, I can feel the carbon fiber under there. And then this is this corner here, so the 3 rivets there. And again, though, this is all now got sheet metal there. And then you can see this is where it hit the track when it came off. But hey, that's, I guess, what happens. So let me get this striker pin in here, and then we're gonna get those for get those for nylox on, and then we don't have to worry about this hood. All right, so I'm gonna get after that. All right, so it's another day, another dollar. Or I spent another dollar. I spent some money. I don't know. Well, Johnny hooked me up with these because the other ones fell off. My fault, their fault, I don't know. But they definitely fell off. So we're going to put these on. But what we're going to do here is we are going to drill some holes here and put these on, and that'll hold them on. So I'm gonna get those on. Pretty easy process. Just need to get a drill bit, zip it through, bolt it up, and we'll be done. And then we are ready for the track. All right, so like you saw, I got everything done. I lost the microphone there at the end. But so car's done, car's ready. We're going to get it loaded up tomorrow, head to the track, and we've got another event coming up. So we will see you at the track, and thanks for watching.
Powered by the old show.